The online student.
Designed for May 2026 session, IB Economics, Standard Level and Higher Level, Paper 2. A1. Define the term unemployment. Text A, Paragraph 2. 2 marks. Level 1. A vague or partial definition. An answer that only states that unemployment is being without a job, without reference to being part of the labor force or actively seeking work. 1 mark. Level 2. A clear and accurate definition. An accurate explanation that unemployment refers to all those people who are of working age who were not in employment, carried out activities to seek employment during a specified recent period, and were currently available to take up employment given a job opportunity. 2 marks. A2. Define the term Gini index. Text C, Paragraph 5. 2 marks. Level 1. A vague or partial definition. An answer that only states that it is a measure of inequality without mentioning how it is represented, for example, as a number between 0 and 1 or 0 and 100, or without linking it to income or wealth distribution. 1 mark. Level 2. A clear and accurate definition of negative externalities. An accurate explanation that it is a numerical measure of income or wealth inequality in a country, usually taking values between 0 and 1 or 0 and 100, where 0 represents perfect equality and 1 or 100 represents maximum inequality. 2 marks. B1. Using the data in Table 1, calculate the per capita GDP nominal in 2024. 2 marks. Relevant data from Table 1, 2024. Nominal GDP in 2024 equals US $18.2 billion. Population in 2024 equals 2.42 million. Calculation. Per capita GDP nominal equals nominal GDP divided by population equals US $18.2 billion divided by 2.42 million equals US $7,520.66. A correct numerical answer showing US 7,521 or US 7,520.66 without working merits 1 mark. B2. Using the data in Table 1, calculate the percentage change in the value of the Moldova lei from 2021 to 2024, stating whether it has appreciated or depreciated. 3 marks. Data from Table 1. 2021 exchange rate equals 17.5 MDL per US dollar. 2024 exchange rate equals 19.0 MDL per US dollar. Calculation. Equals 19.0 minus 17.5 divided by 17.5 times 100% equals 8.57%. Statement. The Moldova lei depreciated by approximately 8.57% against the US dollar between 2021 and 2024. A correct numerical answer showing 8.57% without working merits 1 mark. C. Using an AD-AS diagram, explain how the energy import crisis and drought, text A, paragraphs 1 and 2, affected real GDP and the general price level in 2022. 4 marks. Level 1. A correctly labeled AD-AS diagram showing AD and SRAS curves with a leftward shift of SRAS from SRAS1 to SRAS2 and a new equilibrium showing lower real GDP, Y2 less than Y1, and a higher general price level, P2 greater than P1. Or, a basic explanation that the 2022 energy import crisis and drought increased production costs and reduced agricultural output, causing SRAS to decrease, shift left, which reduces real GDP and increases the general price level, cost-push inflation driven by energy and food prices. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled AD-AS diagram showing AD and SRAS curves with a leftward shift of SRAS from SRAS1 to SRAS2 and a new equilibrium showing lower real GDP, Y2 less than Y1, and a higher general price level, P2 greater than P1. And a clear explanation that higher energy import costs and drought, text A, paragraphs 1 and 2, increased firms' costs and reduced agricultural output, shifting SRAS left. This leads to a contraction in real GDP, consistent with the negative 4.6% growth in 2022, and a higher general price level, cost-push inflation driven by energy and food prices. 3 to 4 marks.
Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For ADAS, the vertical axis may be average or general price level, APL, or price level. The horizontal axis may be real output, real national output, real income, real national income, real GDP, or real Y. A title is not necessary.
D. Using a foreign exchange market diagram for the Moldovan lei, explain how falling exports in 2022, text B, paragraph 3 and table 1, could affect the exchange rate against the US dollar. 4 marks. Level 1. A correctly labeled foreign exchange market diagram for the Moldovan leu, MDL, showing demand and supply for MDL, with a leftward shift in demand for MDL from D1 to D2 against the US dollar, leading to a lower equilibrium exchange rate for the MDL, depreciation. Or, a basic explanation that falling exports in 2022 reduce foreign demand for MDL, since foreign buyers need fewer MDL to pay for Moldovan goods, causing the MDL to depreciate against the US dollar. Each US dollar now buys more MDL. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled foreign exchange market diagram for the Moldovan leu, MDL, showing demand and supply for MDL, with a leftward shift in demand for MDL from D1 to D2 against the US dollar, leading to a lower equilibrium exchange rate for the MDL, depreciation. And a clear explanation that falling exports in 2022 from $3.4 billion to $2.3 billion mean fewer foreigners need MDL to buy Moldovan goods, decreasing demand for MDL. This fall in demand for MDL leads to a depreciation of the MDL against the US dollar. Each US dollar now buys more MDL. 3 to 4 marks. Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For a foreign exchange diagram, the vertical axis may be price of the Moldovan leu, MDL, in another currency, typically USD, or other currency, typically USD, per Moldovan leu. The horizontal axis should be quantity or quantity of Moldovan leu. A title is not necessary. E. Using a Lorenz curve diagram, explain income inequality in Moldova using the Gini index data and sectoral employment differences. Table 2. 4 marks. Level 1. A correctly labeled Lorenz curve diagram showing the line of equality and a Lorenz curve bowed below it indicating income inequality in Moldova. Or a basic explanation that a higher Gini index and differences in sectoral employment, for example, many workers in lower-paid agriculture versus higher-paid services or ICT, indicate an unequal distribution of income. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled Lorenz curve diagram showing the line of perfect equality and a Lorenz curve bowed away from this line, consistent with Moldova's Gini index, and bowed further away from the EU Lorenz curve, EU average Gini index of 0.296, indicating income is unevenly distributed. And a clear explanation that the Gini index has risen from 0.353 in 2021 to 0.362 in 2023, as shown in Table 2, shows moderate but rising inequality, and that sectoral employment differences reinforce this. A large share of workers in lower productivity, lower income agriculture, compared with better paid services and ICT, contributes to a more bowed Lorenz curve and a higher Gini value. 3 to 4 marks.
Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For the Lorenz curve, the vertical axis should be labeled as cumulative percentage of income or wealth. The horizontal axis should be cumulative percentage of population. A title is not necessary.
F.
Using a PPC diagram, explain how education reforms and infrastructure investments, text C, paragraphs 5 to 8, could contribute to long-term economic development. 4 marks.
Level 1. A correctly labeled PPC diagram showing an outward shift of the curve from PPC1 to PPC2, indicating an increase in the economy's productive capacity. Or, a basic explanation that education reforms and infrastructure investments increase human capital and improve transport and energy, allowing the economy to produce more goods and services in the long run. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled PPC diagram showing an outward shift of the production possibilities curve, PPC1 to PPC2, representing an increase in potential output and productive capacity. And a clear explanation that education reforms, such as expanded vocational training, digital skills, and health improvements, raise human capital and productivity, while better infrastructure, roads, energy, ICT, renewables, reduces costs and bottlenecks. Together, these supply-side improvements allow Moldova to produce more over time, supporting sustained economic growth, higher incomes, and improvements in living standards, which are key elements of long-term economic development. 3 to 4 marks.
Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For the PPC diagram, the vertical axis should be capital goods, and the horizontal axis should be consumer goods. Or the two axes may represent 2 different sectors of the economy or 2 different types of goods and services produced in the economy. A title for the diagram is not necessary.
G. Using information from the text and data and your knowledge of economics, discuss the macroeconomic policies Moldova could implement to achieve stable economic growth and support SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. 15 marks.
Examiners should be aware that candidates may take a different approach, which, if appropriate, should be rewarded. Command term. Discuss requires candidates to offer a considered and balanced review that includes a range of arguments, factors, or hypotheses. Opinions or conclusions should be presented clearly and supported by appropriate evidence.
Responses may include macroeconomic objectives and context, explanation that Moldova faces volatile real GDP growth, strong expansion in 2021, contraction in 2022, weak growth in 2023 to 2024, high but falling inflation after the 2022 energy/food shock, low unemployment but skills mismatches, persistent trade deficits, and reliance on imported energy. Clear link from these challenges to the need for policies that stabilize growth while restructuring the economy toward cleaner energy and stronger infrastructure and industry in line with SDG 7 and SDG 9. Demand-side policies for stability and support to investment. Counter-cyclical fiscal policy. Using temporary, well-targeted government spending, e.g. public investment in energy networks, roads, digital infrastructure. Prudent use of budget deficits. Maintaining deficits on a sustainable path given debt around 35% of GDP while prioritizing growth-enhancing capital spending over current spending, supported by EU grants and concessional finance. Monetary policy. Using interest rate policy and other tools to keep inflation low and stable after the 2022 energy/food shock, helping reduce uncertainty for investors in renewables and industry while avoiding excessively tight policy that could suppress growth. Policies directly supporting SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. Public investment and subsidies for renewables, solar, wind, biomass, hydro, to reduce dependence on imported gas/electricity, currently 70% of the energy mix, lower exposure to external price shocks, and help meet the NECP target of at least 30% renewable electricity and the 71% emissions reduction goal. Well-designed auction schemes and fixed tariff contracts, as described in the case, to attract private and foreign investment in clean energy while managing fiscal risks and avoiding excessive guaranteed prices. Grid and interconnection upgrades to integrate new renewable capacity, improve reliability beyond current 80% electricity coverage, and lower transmission losses, with potential use of EU and IFI, international financial institutions, financing. Gradual reform of consumer energy pricing, combined with targeted support for vulnerable households to encourage efficient energy use without causing energy poverty. Policies directly supporting SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Infrastructure investment, improving rural roads, currently only 30% paved, rail rehabilitation, and electricity reliability to lower transport and logistics costs, facilitate agro-processing and manufacturing, and integrate rural areas into markets. Digital infrastructure and ICT, expanding high-speed internet and 4G/5G on top of already high coverage, supporting the growing ICT sector and enabling e-government and digital services. Human capital and skills policies, continuing and expanding vocational training in ICT, manufacturing, and agri-tech to reduce skills mismatches and support higher value activities. Improving education quality and addressing gender gaps in secondary completion. Industrial and innovation policies, incentives for firms in ICT, agro-processing, and renewables, tax breaks, innovation grants, incubators, support for SMEs, and promotion of value-added exports rather than raw commodities. Business climate reforms, simplifying regulations, strengthening contract enforcement, and reducing corruption to attract FDI, e.g. in ICT and agro-processing, and support private sector-led industrialization. Trade-offs and challenges. Fiscal trade-offs. Infrastructure and green energy investment are costly. Overexpansion of spending could undermine debt sustainability or crowd out private investment if financed domestically. Time lags. Supply-side measures, education, infrastructure, innovation take time to translate into higher productivity and growth. Short-run effects on employment or inflation may be limited. External dependence. Achieving SDG-aligned investment may require continued EU aid and concessional loans. External shocks, energy prices, regional security risks remain a vulnerability. Distributional and regional issues. Infrastructure and clean energy investment must be spread beyond urban areas to ensure inclusive development and avoid widening rural-urban inequality. Environmental considerations. Rapid industrial expansion must manage local pollution and land use impacts, ensuring that SDG 9 does not conflict with climate and environmental goals. Balanced judgments. Reasoned conclusion that a mix of prudent demand management to stabilize growth and inflation and comprehensive supply-side/structural policies in energy, infrastructure, human capital, and innovation is most appropriate for Moldova. Recognition that policies aligned with SDG 7 and SDG 9 can mutually reinforce stable growth by reducing external vulnerabilities, improving productivity, and attracting investment. But success depends on sound implementation, good governance, and sustained external support.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.